Hey everybody, I have a Nintendo 64. I tried to repair several years ago and then got busy and just threw all the pieces in a bag, and then it got stuck in a closet and I forgot about it. Just never did get back around to it. Now I think is a good time for me to revisit it and see if I can make it work. The original problem was the cartridge would not consistently read. So I tried cleaning it and I didn't have any luck. I could get it to work every once in a while if I wiggled it just right. So I looked around online and I found a replacement connector. It's not an OEM connector, but supposedly it would work. And maybe it does work, but for some reason, when I tried it, it did not work for me. And I had to kind of rig it up to get it to fit in there the way that the pins are. They didn't plug right into the board like the original one did. So I tried to bend the pins out to the sides and solder on to a nearby connection on each one, and I'm not sure if that is correct. Those connections could go to other locations in the circuit. Anyway, what I would like to do is maybe take this one back off and locate an original replacement. I've already done some grinding on the cabinet and modified a couple things. It's been a while, so I don't even remember what I did. So this is going to be a challenge. I remember before I threw everything in the bag that I thought maybe the power supply was bad. I thought that I killed the power supply when I was messing with the game cartridge connector. I'll need to test this power supply as well. I wish now that I would not have thrown the original connector away, because I have since learned that you can sometimes put the connector in boiling water for like 5 minutes and bring them back to life. Had I known that, I would have tried it. I've looked all over, I can't find the original, so I'm pretty sure I threw it away at the time. Anyway, we'll see if we can find another connector or maybe make this work. I've put the power supply back in the case so that I can test the voltages without worrying about contacting a charged capacitor and getting shocked. Thankfully, they have put a diagram right on top here. I don't know if you can read this from the camera view. Alright, I've plugged the power supply in, so let's check the voltages. First, we'll check the 3.3 volt. I'm going to go from the bottom left pin to the upper middle and then the upper right. I got 3.475 on the upper middle, upper right 3.475. That looks okay. I'm going to keep the ground on the same pin. Really, I could have used the upper left, lower left, or lower middle for the ground. It didn't really matter. They're all the same point. I chose the lower left. Anyway, now let's check the 12 volt DC. Lower right pin. I'm measuring 10.76. I did look that up earlier. I've read that from 10 to 11 is typical on the 12 volt DC, so I'm going to say that the power supply is good. Now that I've verified that the power supply is okay, I would like to check resistance from the voltage rails to ground on the motherboard. Let's set the meter to ohms. Yeah, I could do continuity mode. Even. We'll start with continuity mode and then maybe go to ohms if we need to. The connection is going to be a mirror image of what the diagram showed earlier, because it's going to be flipped around to connect into the motherboard. So I'm going to go from the lower right to the upper middle for the 3.3. Alright, that does not look good. It looks like a short. And from the lower right to the upper left, yeah, it's the same reading. It looks like a short circuit on the 3.3 volt. All right, so now I'm going to go from the lower right ground to the lower left where the plus 12 should be coming in and see what we get on that. That one's okay. The plus 12 looks all right. I don't have a short circuit on it. So it looks like the problem was on the 3.3 volt. All right, to get a better idea of what kind of resistance we have on the voltage rails, I'm going to go to resistance mode on the meter. And let's check the 3.3 first. Lower right pin for ground and upper left pin for 3.3. It's 0.1 ohms, so it's pretty much a short. Alright, so I'll check the upper middle as well. They should be the same. Yeah, the 3.3 is definitely shorted. And I'm going to check the resistance on the 12 volt again, and it looks like about 960 k ohm, almost a meg. Since this was kind of working before I replaced this cartridge slot connector, I'm going to go ahead and desolder it and look around, see if I made a solder bridge underneath it somewhere, just verify everything's good. And yeah, we'll see if the 3.3 volt short goes away after I take this back off. I tried desoldering each pin individually and I was having a real hard time getting it to work. So what I would like to try is to use the hot air gun and heat the whole thing up and try to separate it that way all at once. I have a rechargeable screwdriver here that I bought online with a PH2 bit in here that seems to fit these screws pretty well. Let's go ahead and take this out, get the motherboard out of the chassis. There it is. It's out. So the plan is I don't want to melt the plastic here or here, any of this plastic right around there. So I'll probably cover them up with some foil tape and then maybe just hold it by the connector and heat all the way around it until it drops. Alright, I got the board all taped up around where I'm going to be heating it. So let's fire up the hot air station. And it's going to get noisy here in a minute. I'm going to turn on the fume extractor. I'm going to try to grip this connector with these ceramic tweezers. I don't know if it'll grip it enough to hold it. We'll see. Let's try it this way. No, it might work. We'll see. Alright, the plastic smell was pretty toxic. Alright, I think I found a technique that works for desoldering these pins individually. The hot air station was making too much toxic fumes heating up this plastic. So I decided to try desoldering each individual pin again. I found that I can hook this pick, the bent pick, underneath and behind the pin as I heat it, and then roll it up, and it'll allow the pin to separate away from the pad. So let's continue on. I've done several already.